Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got a great blend for you guys tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and take some. Well, it's already poured out, so I'm going to pull it out from Magic, from Magic Land. I love how I just like reach over and just, ooh, there's tea. No, so tonight's blend is a little bit of a different twist of one that I've done before. This one is a little bit. It's well. I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about it. It's gonna be Coconut Grove Pouchong. Coconut Pouchong I've done, God, a couple of years ago when I first started. But the Coconut Grove Pouchong is one that I have not tried yet. It's got a couple of extra tidbits in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my first sip because this is it's smelling really really nice. Oh yes, this is definitely the gamer. Welcome. I see you the first one on my Twitch stream. Hey Ma, welcome. And I'm assuming Sneha is the other name on here. There you go, Sneha. Welcome. Because I saw you like flicker for a second. So anyway, so this blend is kind of near and dear to my heart because when I first started drinking tea, its predecessor, Coconut Pouchong, was the first one that I had actually picked up, along with the blood orange. That's what it was. It took me a minute to remember all that. It's been years, but I told this story so many times it should be natural, but I guess not. Anyway, so the Pouchong in general is a very lightly oxidized oolong, and the blend itself is very light tasting. It's very creamy. This one actually, I'm going to talk a little bit about what extras are in it. So this has Pouchong tea, coconut, natural coconut flavor, and blue cornflowers. So, I did find out a little bit more about the flavoring process. Now, I found out that there's different ways to add flavors to teas, but in a lot of cases, it's not that it's steamed in, but apparently it's sprayed in. There are some places that do steam the flavor in, but for when you don't have steam as part of the oxidation process, what they do is they wait until it's mostly oxidized and almost ready to ship, and then they spray the leaves down with concentrated, like in this case, it's the concentrated coconut. So you get the flavoring that's natural without the preservatives, without the chemicals and stuff like that. So it's just sprayed on. So that's just going to be what from what's the word I'm looking for? That's going to be part of the process that I was not aware of completely. So I am amending my statement from the past couple weeks. Oh, this is so good. I've had the coconut pouchong iced, which was really really nice. The the creaminess really comes out in that you just add a little bit of sugar to it. That's my preference. I had the coconut pouchong with the God, what was it? I put cinnamon and it was cinnamon, sugar, and coconut milk. That's what it was. And I swear, when it was iced, it tasted like what's that? Not horchata. That's what it was. Oh my god, it was incredible. I'm kind of tempted to do it with this, but not today. Today I'm going to leave it as is. Bernice, welcome. I see you popping in. So tonight's stream, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. I am also I'm also streaming on Twitch. so I don't know how I'm going to do it for you guys who are watching on Twitch. But here is what the tea looks like when the tea itself. It ranges from a little bit of a dark green to a lighter green. It's got coconut flakes, big old chunks of coconut in there. You can see the blue corn flour, and it's just those ingredients. It's very natural. Nothing, nothing too different from what the original one was. And the original one itself was great in and of itself. So I'm going to show you guys on Twitch really quick if you guys can see it. I wish I had a better lighting system. I need to invest in a webcam because you're not getting like the best colors on here. So looking at that, Meg, welcome. So looking at what it looks like when it's dry, you'll notice that all the leaves are still closed. They're very tight. They're very small. But after it's steeped, this one, oh, this is a beautiful leaf. Beautiful example. It's almost full. But you see there's a huge difference from when it's steeped. It opens up a lot. Now, because this is an oolong, you don't want to go too hot or too long on the temperature. Too hot on the temperature, too long on the time. So what I did was I steeped it for about 10 minutes. Not 10 minutes, oh my god, 3 minutes. I don't know where 10 came from. I steeped it for about 3 minutes at 180, about 180 degrees. And this came out perfect. I cannot complain one bit. Oh, that is so nice. Now, there's a slight, very, very minimal saltiness to the taste that comes from the vegetal side of it. But it really doesn't negatively affect the coconut at all. I mean, it's barely there. I have to blow on it a little bit. Oh my god, this smells so creamy. Like that's all it is, like coconut cream. So I don't really, I mean, I would have to do a side-by-side comparison between Coconut Pouchong and Coconut Grove Pouchong. But this tastes a lot like what I remember original Coconut Pouchong being. The creaminess, the very naturally sweet flavor of the coconut is really very profound in this blend. And so it's more of a summer kind of drink. You know, it's along the same lines as a pina colada or a tropical drinks. Like I don't know a whole lot of tropical drinks, but you get that sense of sweet creaminess that goes along very well with the hot weather. Oh, that's super good. Oh man, so I'm really like, it's been a long time since I've had coconut pouchong, and so I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Oh yeah, I know you're not a fan of coconut, and I believe you're allergic to it as well. So I mean, I guess that goes hand in hand. But yeah, like for those of you who are coconut fans, I would highly recommend it because it's creamy. It's got that flavor that you really look for in a tea that's supposed to taste like what it tastes like. There have been so many times I've had, especially in black teas, where all you taste is the black tea. There's no essence of, say, cream, or there's no essence of cinnamon or something like that. All you taste is the black. Pina colada, yeah, pina colada, ma. That's one of the main flavors that this reminds me of. Tea isn't supposed to taste like coconut. Well, I mean, you can. Tea doesn't really have a law to taste like anything. It's all a matter it's all subjective, you know, like what you want to taste. It's available. It's out there. So I would highly recommend, if you are a coconut fan, to try some of this stuff out because it's really, really nice. It was fogging up my glasses. Now, what I would do if I'm like feeling an extra sweet tooth is I would put coconut. I would put the sugar or the stevia in this and give it and bring out the sweetness more. It'll actually help the texture as well, adding a more creamy, a creamier subtext to it. You can also put cream in here if you like. It'll go very well. Maybe you can freeze it and make it into limber. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't be able to make it into limber because you need to put the cream over the creaminess. It would water it down. But if you're looking for like a coconut icy kind of thing, you can definitely do it with this. Especially, if you already have a coconut drink that you don't want to get too watered down when you add the ice to it. This is a good substitute. If you're already drinking a pina colada and it's starting to get warm, just toss a couple cubes in there. You're good to go. Oh, that's so good. Every single time. Like I love this flavor so much. It always brings me back to my beginning days. I have drank plenty of this over the years, and it's definitely given me a kind of special place in my heart, because this is where I started. This is part of my roots. And it started me on a journey that I had no idea I was starting, But yeah, I just love this stuff. Where does Pouchong come from? Well, it is an oolong. Pouchong, I believe, is from China specifically. It's not a Taiwanese oolong, because you can see by the leaf, it's not balled up. It's a very straight leaf. And it's dried. It's barely processed. So it's from China. Let me adjust that a little bit. It's lightly oxidized. So generally, an oolong is between, if I remember, 30 and 80% oxidized is oolong. It's closer to the 30 or 40% end of it, and so it's not gonna have that really strong, earthy flavor that a lot of oolongs do have. But that's why the coconut flavor, is able to maintain itself in the Pouchong, because it's not an overpowering leaf to begin with. Oh, it's so delicious. I can't help it. This stuff really, it really, it really takes me back. And let me show you guys. I haven't done this in a while, but like being what it is, the coconut you can actually just eat straight from the tea, and it just melts. Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I've got a big paragraph to read from Sneha, who says it's from China or Taiwan, pronounced as Baozong in Mandarin. It is the lightest and most floral of the teas, and it's only 8 to 10% oxidized. Really? Then I wonder why it's considered an oolong, if it's only 8 to 10, because 8 to 10% is usually around green or white. I think white is no, yeah, it's around green because white is between 1 and 5%. So 8 to 10% oxidized. That's interesting. It says I got I gotta drink some of this stuff because the coconut is like starting to dry my mouth a little bit. You see, yep, still reading. It says, although it does fall somewhere between a green tea and a standard oolong tea, it is usually classified as an oolong, though it lacks the sharper flavor of a green tea. Instead, it has a rich, mild taste with a floral and melon aroma. So yeah, you see, like that's very interesting. I always thought it was on the. I knew it was lower in oxidation, but I didn't know that it was so low that it was of the outside of the general oolong spectrum. That is very interesting. But I mean, that does explain why the taste is so light, because it doesn't even have a green tea flavor. So now I'm wondering how they oxidize it to keep it light um, without maintaining the very leafy green umami flavor that green tea usually has. That's something that I'm gonna have to like really look into. That is, I think I'll be drinking this oolong as I do my research, so that it's like, hey, this is interesting. And then slurp. But yeah, these as I was saying, the tea itself is like it's natural. You're able to actually eat it, and like it's natural ingredients, and it's really delicious. Like I'm kind of looking for one of the hot pieces now. I don't see one. I might not have been able to. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I kind of want to. No, that one's got leaf in it, and I'm not going to spend my time trying to pick it out. But yeah, anyway, the tea is delicious. Like it's really given me a new kind of like invigoration. More for flavor than caffeine. There's not going to be a whole lot of caffeine. Um, it's the generally you'll have it on the lower part of the spectrum. Um, so it's like the younger the leaf, the less processed the leaf, the less caffeine it'll have. That's general rule of thumb. So white will have the least amount, green will have a little more, oolong will have more, black will have more, will have the most. Oh wait, I forgot. Dark is going to be in between oolong and black, and so and then you have stuff like mate, which is super caffeinated for a tea, but that's a whole other story. So, did I know Baozang tea is best brewed in porcelain vessel, like a gaiwan or traditional Yiqing teapot made from purple clay? I did not know that, but in a case like this, I mean, best brewed is that flavor wise because flavor is subjective. People will drink what they will drink and they'll like it or not. Um, but I would definitely like to try it in a Yixing a Yixing pot because I don't believe I've ever had a tea that was brewed from a Yixing. The thing about Yixing is you need to take really good care of it daily. You have to brew some tea in it and then wash it in its own tea, basically. So what you'll do is Yixing pots are usually very small, about yay big, and you'll drink the tea, and then with whatever's left over, you'll scoop it out and pour it on top, and just to keep it nice and moist, because otherwise it'll dry out and crack, and then you're good to go. You're not able to come back from that. So yeah, I've never owned one. I don't think I've ever drank from one. And also, the thing about a yixing pot is you have to have, you can't make different teas in it. You have to maintain the same tea over and over and over again because otherwise, it'll the flavor seeps into the pot, and as you brew, it releases the flavor back. So if you're gonna try different teas, you'll be getting different kinds of flavors mixed in there, and it's not gonna be as good as you might hope. So maybe one day I'll be a responsible adult enough to actually own one and give it proper care, but that day has not come yet. Also, another trivia fact for yixing pots, they are traditionally passed down from generation to generation and continuously cared for. And there are some that have been around for hundreds of years, and they are immaculate because the way that they are taken care of, people take this seriously enough to the point where like it's insane. We pass that on from generation to generation, and they take it on as an honor to continue. That just gives me chills talking about it because it's like that is such a beautiful idea, you know, to have this one piece that's over 100 years old, and you honor that piece. You take good care of it, and you trust your children to do the same. I mean, it's just a thing of beauty to me. Oh, okay. Anyway, all right, I'm going to open up the floor. Questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, now's the time. This tea is like really, I'm loving it. Is that the name? The name actually refers to the part of the processing method. Baozong Pushong is an older way of writing the name, the same word in our alphabet. In Mandarin, it means wrapped in paper. It is no longer processed this way today, but in the past, the leaves were wrapped in paper during the drying process. Oh, that's good to know. That I didn't know that. Well, like language wise, it's not very. I'm not fluent. I don't know what the word comes from, but that's an interesting fact that it used to be dried in paper. I don't know how that would be done effectively, because I would imagine like the water would wick out, but only to a point. Like at some point you'd have to take it out and let it air dry. I don't know. Morgan, welcome. I don't know how it would work, but I don't know. We'll see about that. Oh my God, this is this is like, even as it cools down little by little, it's really maintaining that flavor. Oh yes, Teresa's question. What would I pair this with? Definitely, this is a dessert tea. I mean, it's not. Well, okay, I don't want to just blanket it as a dessert tea because of its sweetness. Because it's more than that. Dessert tea would taste like candy. It would taste like very sugary. This is a natural flavor, and I'm getting a whole lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I'm getting a whole lot of like you get the fruit, but there is like a slight tinge of savory in there because it's a pouchon. So, like, I don't want to call it a dessert tea. It's just very sweet. It's really really sweet. So I would pair this off with other sweet things like a. I would go with maybe an ice cream or chocolate. Definitely chocolate. You know, chocolate and coconut. You get that old. I forgot the not almond joy. Well, yeah, almond joy and what was the other one? And mounds. Sometimes you feel like a nut. You remember back in the 80s and 90s? That was my jam because I always feel like a nut. And I just did the Thomas taste, just subconsciously, and it has a very light taste. It doesn't linger very long. You'll Was it you'll pass something on to me like a chancleta? I believe me, I don't need that passed on to me. I have enough of the marks on my butt to last a lifetime. Well, believe me, I'm good on the chancleta. Never again. Oh man, but as let me see. What else would I pair this with? If I were to do it with a dinner, um, a chancleta it's a slipper that a lot of Puerto Ricans use to beat their kids with. So yeah, that's not what that's not what I want. I don't need chancleta. I think I grew up pretty well. Yeah, but yeah, like I'm saying, like it doesn't linger very long. Um, like it's hard to explain the flavor, the taste of it stays, uh, but the effervescence doesn't. You know, I mean, there's some teas that I've had where even as I speak, um, the flavor just swirls and swirls in the mouth. In this case, the flavor is just on my tongue. It remains sweet and creamy, but it's still like it evaporates kind of quickly. You can pass you can pass it on, and I can honor it. Yeah, I don't think I will honor the chancleta. I fear the chancleta, but I don't honor it. Mm. Okay, questions, comments, anything you want to talk about? Now's the time. Um, do I have any announcements? The only one I can think of right now. Oh well, yeah, I have two announcements. Um, First of all, for as you guys know, for the during the quarantine, uh, I've been doing these virtual tea parties, and they have been incredible. Like they have, it's surprised me how well they've been doing. I've been doing them every week only because people have been requesting them to do every week. But now that the quarantine is almost over and the sun is coming out, the weather's getting nicer. Right now, I'm going to be doing it every 2 weeks rather than every week. So this week we won't be having another. We won't be having another one, but the following week we will. I'll see how that goes, and then I mean, if it still remains popular, I'll leave it as once a week. Sorry, once every 2 weeks. Then if not, we'll do it once a month. See how it goes up until when it starts to get colder, which I'll start going back to the twice a week and or every week. Oh, excuse me. So, yay. That's something that I'm working towards. And hopefully we'll be able to enjoy our summers, and with the now that I'm not doing the tea tea parties. Sorry, brain farting. Now that I'm not doing the tea parties every week, I'll be able to also plan get-togethers and go back once the quarantine is completely lifted. We can go back to doing tea crawls and tea classes, doing a whole bunch of stuff, you know. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. Um, and yeah, you know, it's going to be a good time. Summer is always good for the community because people want to go out and have fun. So that's what we'll be doing. Number two, the announcement number two. Since I have started the Twitch stream, I want to start ramping up followers and getting people signed in. So I'm going to continue doing both of the streaming services, but I want to also concentrate a little bit more on Twitch as a more legit platform. So this is going to be it's going to be an exciting thing. I'm looking forward to seeing where it leads me, and hopefully it'll bring a wider audience. So yeah, those are my announcements. I still have about half a cup left, so I'm going to open up the floor to questions, comments, anything you want to do. Now's the time to talk about it. Mm. Mm-mm. Mm. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I still have a little bit more, but trust me, I am definitely going to. I'm definitely going to finish this. So I'm going to add the link once I sign off. So if you want to taste it for yourself, you can go ahead and order some. In the meantime, have a great night, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.